Okay, well, here's Miss Clarity herself, explaining the laws to you as she understands them. The problem is, she doesn't understand anything about the law. Let's see what she has to say.
Actually, I'm going to go back for just a second because I want to go over congressional findings and declaration of purpose. Um, excuse me, every law that you look at or every law that you read is going to basically give the reason why this was enacted by Congress. They're basically telling you, and so these laws are based on their findings and the research that they have done and what they are seeing in the banking and finance industry and how they're seeing that consumers are being taken advantage of, right? So, truth in lending centers around the informed and use of credit, right? So let's read this initial definition, right? Congress finds, this is what Congress has found, that economic stabilization would be enhanced and the competition among various financial other firms engaged in the extension of consumer credit would be strengthened by the informed use of credit. Now, they made a statement here, very important. Why would they say that the economy would be stabilized if there was a strengthening surrounding use of credit, informed use of credit? So when I read the statement, to me, this is telling me that there is an uninformed use of credit that's happening. Consumers are the way that consumers are being violated. There is an uninformed use of credit. So that means that your credit is being used without your informed consent.
That's
That's
not
how
what it
I read
means.
that
That's not what it
paragraph,
means.
right? So the informed use of credit results from an awareness of the cost thereof by consumers. It is the purpose
That's
of
what
the
it means.
subchapter to assure a meaningful disclosure of credit terms so that the consumer will be able to compare more readily the various credit terms available to him and avoid the uninformed use of credit, and to protect the consumer against inaccurate and unfair credit billing and credit card practices. Right? There is a unfair credit and billing credit card practices happening to us as a
She
consumer,
has no idea what she just read.
right? So this section right here is very, very important, and I'm going to outline that for you once we get into the definitions of this subchapter. Okay, so just remember, Congress enacted these laws to protect us, right? And so they see that there is a severe uninformed use of credit. So let's get into it. We're going to go into definitions and rules of construction. Okay. Now, if you remember from the previous videos, I spoke of the need to ensure that we are the proper definitions of the words are when we're reading a sentence, when we are reading legal language. It's important for us to know the definitions of the words and get the full context of the meaning of what they're attempting to relate to us, right? So we can't read it like a regular sentence like we were taught in school. We have to literally know the definition of each word or,
But you have,
or
but you have to use common
reading the
sense
legal
also.
language. Okay. Okay.
This will
So
become
we went
apparent
over
here
this
pretty
one
soon.
before. Bureau means the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection, and that is the CF. Um, um, Previously, I spoke of how we need to pay attention to what is not included in a definition, right? So we don't see anything in here about Transunion, Equifax, or Experian. And a lot of people refer to them as credit bureaus, but there is nothing federal
No,
about them.
because
Because
they're
if you look at
collection
this
age or they're reporting
definition, the
agencies.
term bureau, Congress only gives one definition for the term bureau. It means the CFPB. It doesn't say anything about Transunion, Equifax, and Experian. Let's definitely correct the language. When we're speaking about the bureau, there's only two bureaus. There is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and then there is the CFPB. Okay. The term board means the board of governors of the Federal Reserve System. So these are just a few definitions that we need to be aware of. A organization means a corporation, government or governmental subdivision. A person means a natural person or organization. Now, we also saw that the term consumer means a natural person. Consumer, as defined in the FCRA and the FDCPA, does not include the term organization, right? So there's a difference in the definition. There is definitely a difference in the definition, right? It could mean a natural person or an organization. And an organization being a corporation, government, or governmental subdivision, agency, or agency, trust, etc. State, partnership, cooperative, or association. Okay. The term credit means the rights granted by a creditor.
Now, watch when she clicks on this credit,
granted,
and it'll be the exact same definition that's sitting right there.
Something to someone that does not previously have that right to hold.
Here's how 5%
commercials. Don't need commercials.
Hi, I'm Lauren McGowan. I'm a content creator and owner of Tiny Bakery, Violet Bakehouse. When I opened my bakery 2 years ago,
right, means rights granted by a creditor. Who's a creditor? And this is something initially went over the definitions of the FDCPA. He said that it refers to a person who both regularly extends. Now it says both. Regularly extends, whether in connection with property or sale of property or otherwise, consumer credit which is payable by agreement or for installments, or for which the payment of finance charge is or may be required. I'm not going to read the entire paragraph.
Thank God.
Why I bring this up again is because I know that there is a lot of people walking around stating themselves to be the original creditor. And so we have to make sure that we are using that terminology in the context of the meaning, right? Because it says both who regularly extend. We know that we regularly extend credit. So we know that when we go into a bank or we do any type of transaction, which is a signature or the proper autograph, because your autograph is money. Anytime that we sign a document that creates the money, it literally creates the money. So our autograph is very valuable. And so I get why people call themselves the original creditor, because without our signature, there is literally no money, right?
Oh my God.
We just have to make sure that we pay attention to how the law defines an original creditor, and when you're going after companies for remedy, how the law assigns liability to any party that is included in a consumer credit transaction. Okay, so it says who both regularly, right, and then it gives the second part of that is the person to whom debt arising from a consumer credit transaction is initially payable on the basis of evidence or indebtedness, right? If no such evidence of indebtedness by agreement, right? So we definitely have to pay attention to that. Now, I want to
see. I think she gets lost when she goes through all these definitions here.
But I'm going to go over the ones that I want to, be able to provide clarity on.
She can't provide clarity on any of them.
J, the terms open-ended credit plan. Open-end credit plan. Okay, let's look at it.
That's the exact same definition that she just had.
Consumer credit plan
word for word.
Under which the creditor reasonably contemplates repeated transaction. So what is a repeated transaction? Something that you have to pay on regular is something that is revolving, something that can go on forever. So what is an account that you know of that's revolving, or something that's basically going to go on forever unless the creditor closes the account or you choose to close the account as a consumer, right? Credit cards. It's a credit card. Continue to read. Repeated transactions, which prescribes the terms of such transactions, which provide for a finance charge which may be computed from time to time on the outstanding unpaid principal balance. A plan or an open-end consumer credit plan, which is an open-end credit plan or an open-end consumer meaning and within the meaning of the previous sentence. So basically, they're just saying that it's open-ended. So what is open-ended
Oh
mean?
my God.
Open-ended means there is no limit.
That's not what open-ended means.
But when we go to apply for a credit card company, credit card companies assign us a limit based on what they perceive our credit worthy. But Congress is an open-ended credit plan as pretty much any account that contemplates repeated transactions. So if Congress is telling you that an open credit plan
Thinking.
that
Know
has
what you
something
think,
that
thinking.
has repeated transactions,
There should be no limit?
the definition of an open-end credit plan, that tells me that my credit card should be open-ended. No limit. Should be no limit.
Right, that's what it should mean.
Right.
That there's no limit to, you
So
can
there
just
should
limit. No limit. Charge whatever you want. That's not what it means.
think about that for a second.
Please do, think about that. But you won't
Why
come to
aren't
any
all
other
of our
conclusion.
credit cards open-ended? They're supposed to be open-ended.
You're not supposed to be open-ended.
Think about it for a second.
You
It's
think
definition,
for a second.
federal definition, right? This is not something that
You can just make up?
I just made up from the reading from the definition. So open-ended. So
It is what you're just creating from the
when I
definition.
go into additional lessons to provide clarity on
You're not providing any clarity on
or
anything.
subchapters within truthful lending. So the term credit card. Now this right
Oh, here we go. This is
when we think of a
stupid.
credit card, we think of Discover card, MasterCard.
This is so asinine.
You know, you're thinking of, an actual credit card. We're thinking of, a credit card, right? Now, Congress defines a credit card as any card. Now, remember when I went over these definitions and I said anytime that you see the word any, that means all. So that means all cards.
All
So
cards.
what other cards do you have in your wallet?
Let me see. My
besides
AAA card is a credit card
your
now?
Credit card.
Hmm.
$1 million. Before you buy $1 million view
I know
like
she's
this,
going to say
create a
Social
faceless
Security
YouTube
card
automation
and
channel
driver's
first.
license.
In fact, this card. What
But-
are some of the other cards that you have in your wallet?
Think about what you're saying.
What's another card? That's an actual card.
Actual card. My EPA certification card. My,
Okay?
like I said, AAA card.
What's another
My
card that you-
my card.
that you have
My
in your wallet?
military medical
Is this not a
card.
card?
They're not credit cards.
That's the back of my driver's license for those of you that may not be able to see.
Hmm.
That's
Should I get my deck of playing cards out? They're
that's
cards.
my driver's license.
If any means all, then I guess a playing card would fall into that.
It says any card, does it not? Is this not a card?
Is a business card not a card?
Any card.
Is a business card a credit card?
What do you know is a plate? What plates do you know
Oh my
of that
God.
exist, right?
So my license plate is a credit card.
It says plates. The only plate that I know of is a license plate.
You don't eat off a
What
dinner
other
plate?
plates are there?
Paper
The only
plate?
plate that I know of is a license plate. Okay. So the term credit card means any card, credit card, driver's license, plate, license plate, coupon book, or other credit device existing for the purpose of obtaining money.
There's the key
property,
right there.
labor, or services
Existing
on
for the
credit.
purpose
Now,
of obtaining credit.
let's go back and look at the definition of plate.
Oh, here
Okay.
we go.
When you're driving along up the street, right, speeding, whatever, you get pulled over by you know who, and what is the first thing that they ask you for? Your driver's license. It says any card. So are they not asking you for your credit card? Your credit card.
No, they're
Your
not.
driver's license is any card. It's a credit card. It means any card. What other cards do you have in your wallet? Or credit card, your driver's license, which is also a card. You have your Social Security card. Remember, the definition means any card.
Any
So
card.
isn't your Social Security card a card? Right? The officer funds your license plate, your plate, so that he charge your credit card. Your license plate is a credit
Oh
card.
my God.
This is why they use the terminology charge. You have been charged with a speeding ticket. You have been charged with a misdemeanor. You have been charged
That's
with a felony, because they are literally charging your open-ended credit card.
no, they're not.
i.e. your social security
When you're
card,
charged,
your driver's license
that's
card,
the government
your license
officially
plate,
accusing you
justified
of
as
a crime.
credit card. Coupon book. We don't receive coupon books in the mail anymore because we have a system of electronic.
All right, let me ask you a question here. All these cards she's talking about, she's missing the key words in the law. Credit devices existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services on credit. Does your social security card do that? No. Does your driver's license do that? No. Does your license plate do that? No. They are not the credit devices existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, credit, or services on credit. She must be on something, I'm telling you.
Electronic payments that we use to pay our bills. But back in the day, didn't we used to get like an actual coupon book where you rip out the coupon, you put an envelope and you attach your check to it and you mail the payment in? That was a coupon book. That was also a credit card. Congress defines a coupon book as a credit card or other credit device existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services.
There, she said it again, and still, she doesn't get it. Existing for the purpose of obtaining money or services, labor, or services on credit. None of the things she's talking about exist for that purpose. And she just can't get it.
On credit. So the reason why I wanted to go over this definition is because I'm trying to show you every single thing that we do every day of our life is some sort of consumer credit transaction. It is a business transaction, right? It's a transaction. Everything in this world is commerce. It's all commerce. So if you're thinking, okay, well, you got a speeding ticket, and that's just the normal course of business. You were speeding, but the officer charged your credit card, and they wrote you a ticket that they expect you to pay.
If the officer charged my credit card and then still expects me to pay, I mean, something's wrong there. But no, he did not run my license plate to charge my card. That's not what charge means. Being charged with a crime is the government officially accusing you of a crime. Has nothing to do with charging any credit cards. Your license plate is not a credit card. I would love for somebody to show me anywhere where Congress says that your license plate is a credit card. She just takes everything way out of context.
Right? Anytime someone is asking you for your social security number, they're asking you for your credit card.
No, they're not.
So there's transactions that are happening on the private side of things that you have no clue about. And so this is what Congress is speaking about.
This is not what Congress is speaking about.
The uninformed use of credit. Oh. The informed use of credit. Because your credit card, i.e. your ID, your license plate, your social security card, is constantly being charged without your informed consent. There are transactions happening behind the scenes that you have no clue about. There are people making money off of our credit card, but you're not benefiting from those transactions. You are not benefiting. So this is what this means.
If you think so.
And remember, commerce. Everything is commerce. Everything is commerce. So anytime that we're doing something, anytime something happens, if it's not something that's happening within the private confines of our own home, once we go out into the world, pretty much any interaction that we have with people or companies or officers, it's all considered a consumer credit transaction because they are literally charging your credit card, your social security card, open-ended credit plan. The original credit card. If you go in to speak to one of your elders, the social security card used to look completely different. It actually had an account number on the social security card.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Social Security card, even ones that are printed out today, have an account number on it. They have a number on it.
And you can probably pull up a picture of it online. You know.
While everybody is panicking and selling their crypto, me and many of my friends, students, and private clients
Okay, back to it.
So, completely different than what it looks like right now.
Yes,
It actually had an account number on it. Let me see if I can pull up a copy of me. Yeah. So here's. Let's see if you guys can see this.
just like everything else in the world. Over things change. Now show me one of these Social Security cards that have no number on it.
This is what
They all have a number on it. Every one of them, from the first one they ever made to the last one they've made, they all have an account number on it.
One of the older Social Security cards looked like, right? It actually had an account number. Okay, well, what is that account number for? Who controls who benefits from the account number? Who can utilize the account number? And so over the years, Social Security card, they changed the way that it looks because
of course
people were beginning to get wind that the Social Security card is the original credit card. So where do you think Discover Card, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, where do you think all of these companies came up with the idea of a credit card?
Oh my God.
Right? They got the idea from the original credit card. This is the original credit card.
That's the original credit card, right? Really?
What does it say? Account number has been established for.
What does it say? For Social Security purposes, not for identification.
These are some of the older samples of what the original credit cards look like.
Show me a new one without a number on it.
Over the years, they changed it. They switched it up.
Show me one without a number on it.
Right? Account number. It had a number on it. It had account number on it. The original open-ended credit plan.
No, it's not.
And find and speak to, grandmother or grandfather and see
I have
the original copy of their credit card or the original credit card.
I have mine.
This is real.
No, the Social Security card's real, but it's not a credit card. Show me one without
account number.
On it.
This is real. They took those account numbers off.
Show me one without the account number on it. Show me one.
The Social Security.
They all have a number on it.
So, the term credit card does actually mean any card, book, or other credit device existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services.
And again, she said it. She read it. Did she comprehend it? No.
Right? So, there is an account out there that is established for open-ended. And so the problem is that when we go into these lending institutions, we know, well, they know that these accounts exist. So when you go to apply for an extension of credit, they're tapping into your open-ended credit card and lending your own money back to you.
Okay, think about what she just said. They're loaning your own money back to you and then charging you interest. Sounds like that would be an illegal practice right there.
I know it sounds crazy.
No, I think she's a little crazy.
I know it sounds crazy, but listen to me. This is part of that deep to reprogram that we have to undergo, because we literally have to unlearn all of the old information that we think we know, right? And we have to literally reprogram our minds with good information, accurate information. And so part of the problem in the society is that we listen to people instead of the text of the laws and how they're written. Because people are offer you
or misinterpret the law.
Their own beliefs in terms of what they were taught.
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
Have came to know and experience their entire life. But what if what they know is wrong?
What you're saying is wrong.
How will you know?
I do know.
Begin to read these laws for yourself. How will you know? like this was written by Congress, right? This was written by Congress. It says any card, and it defines an open-ended credit plan as an account that has repeated transactions. Repeated. That's a revolving line of credit.
Repeated transactions. What? Excuse me. What the repeated transactions are with your Social Security card.
All right.
All right.
You know.
You know.
So,
you don't know.
Now, unauthorized use.
Oh my
Talk
God.
about it a little bit.
Let's please.
Unauthorized use means the use of a credit card by a person other than the card holder who does not have actual, implied, or apparent authority for such use, and from the card holder receives no benefit. Now, who's the card holder? You have the card in your possession. You are the card holder.
You sure you don't want to look up that definition first?
Right? But the transactions are taking place under which the card holder receives no benefit. So if there are transactions and everything taking place that you don't know about, you didn't receive a benefit, they received a benefit. That is uninformed use of credit. That is unauthorized use.
Oh my God.
That is unauthorized use. And so what does Congress say about unauthorized use? Unauthorized use means the use of a credit card by a person other than a cardholder who does not have actual,
Didn't she just say this?
or apparent authority for such.
Didn't she not just say this?
Cardholder receives no benefit. I'm going to give you the prime example
Here
of
we go.
unauthorized use.
You tell me.
And this happens to us every single day. Every day. But we don't
Come on, just
know
say it.
that it's happening.
Just say it.
Okay, so hear me
Come
out.
on.
When you go and apply for a credit card or any type of account, right? A loan, credit card, mortgage, car loan, personal loan, secured, unsecured, whatever that transaction may be.
This is funny.
Right? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second because I want to be able to, I want you to see.
She wants us to hear her.
Airbnb paid me $3,000 today without even needing to own or lease any property.
Alright, so I'm going to stop sharing for a second because I need for you all to hear me.
Yes.
Okay?
We hear you.
One of the greatest examples of unauthorized use is when you go and you apply for something and you get denied. And so what you don't know is that anytime an inquiry pops up on your credit report, that is evidence that a transaction has taken place. A transaction has taken place, but you as the receipt holder received no benefit. Someone still made money off of that transaction, it just wasn't you.
Okay, oh my God. Applying for some type of credit is not a transaction. There is no agreement. When you fill out an application, you are asking for the extension of credit. If you are denied the extension of credit, it is not unauthorized use. If you're denied, how can you be the card holder if they didn't agree to give you the card? How can you get some benefit from a card that does not exist? Who made money off of me being denied, other than the employees working for the company you applied for credit with, whose job it is to determine if you qualify for credit? It's not the biggest example of unauthorized use. It's not even unauthorized use. Why are you giving such bad information? There is no truth to anything you have said in this entire video. There is no such thing. Oh wait, hold on. She didn't even say that yet. I gotta back up. Hold on.
It just wasn't you. That is the biggest example of unauthorized.
Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there.
Unauthorized use and uninformed use of credit. That is the biggest example.
Yeah.
Right? And so no one's going to tell you that a consumer credit transaction took place in which you received no benefit. You just know that you got denied. You got denied. That's all you know.
And then there's no
But
card.
you don't know that when you went to apply for something, they were literally chopping your credit, right? So you know how when you go to a dealership, you go to apply for a car loan, and they shop your credit around, right? To all these different places, and you end up having like a zillion inquiries on your credit report. And then they come and they try to offer you a loan with a double-digit interest rate, a payment that's ridiculously high. And you're like, wait a minute. And so the time that they shopped your credit, every company that appears as an inquiry on your credit report, someone got paid.
No,
you just
they
didn't
didn't.
get paid.
Why would I get paid?
An inquiry is evidence that a transaction took place that you received no benefit, right? And so these are going after these companies for to request them to furnish documentary evidence, which is basically all books of account on the private side and the public side, so that we can see who received the benefit and request a portion of
my
that
God.
benefit
You are...
as our in which our credit was used. Did not know. See, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, dealing with me, your mind, I'm trying to get you to start thinking outside the box.
Yeah, here
we
we
need
go.
to start thinking outside the box, and we really need to know and understand that the way that things are set up, these corporations are not going to do anything unless they receive a direct benefit initially. So we have to start tapping into those benefits, because our credit is literally being used every single day.
Okay. This is where I got a little ahead of myself, but there is no such thing as when it comes outside the box when it comes to the law. Laws are very specific for very specific reasons. Thinking outside the box with the law, you're going to most likely get into trouble. Now, if you want to know how your credit is being used, get a copy of your credit report. I mean, you should actually already know because you're using the credit. But it's going to tell you how to report it. It's going to tell you how many accounts you have, how you pay them, if you carry a balance every month, if you pay them all. She keeps talking about this informed use of credit. She says that it means being informed of that someone else is using our credit and we know nothing about it. Now, here's what 15 U.S.C. 1601A says about informed use of credit. Congress finds that economic stabilization would be enhanced and the competition among the various financial institutions and other firms engaging in the extension of consumer credit would be strengthened by the informed use of credit. Now, she read that part. Now, the informed use of credit results from an awareness of the cost thereof by consumers. It is the purpose of this subchapter to assure a meaningful disclosure of credit terms. A meaningful disclosure of credit terms, so that the consumer will be able to compare more readily the various credit terms available to him and avoid the uninformed use of credit, which means they don't get to see what it's going to cost them. So what this means is to the consumer has a right to know the loan amount, the annual percentage rate, finance charges, late fees, prepayment penalties, payment schedule, total amount you pay. It has nothing to do with unauthorized use. And there's just more to reading than just reading. You have to understand and comprehend what you are reading, especially when it comes to the law. If you don't understand what the law means, ask a lawyer. Now, I'm not a lawyer. The comments I make on the videos such like as these are my opinions. Nothing I say should be taken as advice, legal or otherwise. My opinions are self-educated opinions. Now, I've been reading law books, legal briefs, case law, and much more for the last 30 years. Let's see what else she has to say. Come on.
Without our informed consent, and we have no clue. Why do you think Congress wrote this law? They specifically said that economic stabilization would be enhanced. So what does that mean? If you begin to know and understand the way that your credit is being used, it's going to help the economy. It's going to help the economy. It's going to enable more consumers to be able to benefit via consumer credit transactions with these different banks, companies, and financial institutions. But because we don't know how our credit is being used, it contributes to the economic instability, right? And remember, this is what Congress went over in their findings within the FDCPA. Economic instability contributes to the number of marital instability, bankruptcies, right? About abuse. We talked about the fact that you're being begin to know and exercise your rights. It helps the economy. It helps the economy, right? It really does help the economy. So this right here is just, we literally have to unlearn what we think we know, and we have got to begin to read, people. We have to read. We have to read. When you receive a letter from a debt collector, or you receive a letter from a bank, and you know, at the bottom of that letter, it says Equal Credit Opportunity Act, or it says anything about the FDCPA, or it says anything about the FCRA, because they'll put those disclaimers at the bottom of those letters, because by law, they're required to inform you of certain rights. They're not going to give you everything. They're not going to give you everything. They're just going to give you a little bit. But because we are so caught up in inundated with our day-to-day, we work in a 9-to-5 job, we have very little time every day to spend with our families. We're not going to take the time out to read the FCRA or read the FDCPA or even student lending. We're not going to take the time to read.
If you want the information, you will take the time to read.
They bank on the fact that we're not going to do that, right? So it just allows them to continue to get over on us, right? So, you know, we have.
Do you like having a P.O. box but are tired of wasting time and money driving to the post office?
We have got to get into these definitions, and we have to begin to read, and we have to teach our children to begin to pay attention to detail and to read virtually everything, so that they can decide if they agree or disagree with an offer of an extension of credit or a contract that they're signing, right? Because just because someone is presenting you with a contract doesn't mean that you have to agree to every point of that contract. We can actually cross things out. We can write stuff in. We can initial.
Well, actually, that part is true. So she
and we have to
got
be able
something
to
right.
take our documents home and not feel forced into a spot right there on the spot, especially when we're not properly informed of our rights. Right? Don't let these companies push you and back you into because you feel as though you need something right now, and you don't think that there's another way that you can get what it is that you need. Okay? Oh my God. All right, so I wanted to take some time, like I said, to circle back to truth in lending, because definitions are going to matter. These definitions matter.
Okay. This entire video is filled with misleading statements, misinterpreted laws, and wishful thinking. Creator has no understanding of the law. She gets lost clicking on the links to find out what the definition is when she's already looking at the definition. For instance, when she looked up bureau, she gave the definition. The term bureau means Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. She clicks on it, it says the exact same thing, exact same definition. Same thing with credit. She's looking at the definition, clicks on it, and it's the exact same word-for-word definition. And she gets lost when she does that. She thinks she's reading two different things, and she's not. She can't even tell that she's doing that. All this information she gives, it just may fall under Title 18 of the U.S. Code. Chapter 47, Fraud and False Statements. 18 U.S. Code 1001, Statements or entries generally, except as otherwise provided in this section. Whoever, in any manner within the jurisdiction of the executive, legislative, or judicial branch of the government of the United States, knowingly and willfully falsifies, conceals, or covers up by any trick, scheme, or device a material fact, makes any materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or representation, or makes or uses any false writing or document, knowing the same to contain any materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or entry, shall be fined under this title and imprisoned not more than 5 years, or, if the offense involves international domestic terrorism, imprisoned not more than 8 years, or both. If the matter relates to an offense under Chapter 109B, 109B, or Section 117, or Section 1591, pull those up right now, but then the term of imprisonment imposed under this section shall years. But she reads the law. She has it right in front of her, and she will read it word for word and not give the proper interpretation of it. I mean, the interpretation she gives is just totally fictitious. Now, she claims that she used to work for a bank, that she dealt with this kind of stuff. If she did work for a bank, really work for a bank, I know why she no longer does.
They matter. They definitely matter. So I wanted to go over that before I circle back to the FDCPA and representation, misleading representation. So we're going to pick tomorrow. False, misleading, and deceptive. I'm reading it. False, misleading, and deceptive representation in connection with the collection of it. So we're going to go over that tomorrow. So
I can't wait.
I hope this information was helpful, and I'm giving this information to you in spurts because I know that you all are busy. I'm trying to keep my videos down to 30 minutes so that you can get it in every single night. I don't want it to be 1 hour and 2 hour videos because I know that you all are busy and you have families, and I'm trying to format this information in a way that you can literally get it in. 30 minutes goes by super fast. I have a ton of information to cover.
But none of it's correct.
Make sure that I cover certain points that's going to get us to start thinking differently and thinking outside the box.
You don't want to think outside the box with the
we
law.
have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of studying to do.
Oh my God.
And again, my job is to come in and provide clarity for you on consumer laws in a way that you can understand and take it and apply it to your life. So again,
what did she say her job was? And I don't understand. God, I don't understand how she can.
And again,
her job
is to come in and provide clarity for you.
Clarity for me.
Laws in a way that you can understand. And
Way
take it and
I
apply
can
it to
understand.
your life. So again, thank you all for joining me. My name is Tamara T. Bush, and I will see you all in the next video.
Tamara Bush, you need to do some studying. You need to do some learning, girl. Because nothing except for one thing that you said in there was correct. But everything else was a false statement. Everything else was misleading, misinterpreted. You need to learn how to understand the law before you start making videos on the law. Well, I said what I said. I showed what I showed, and then it's up to you guys to see where the mistakes are made. Like I said, I'm not an attorney, but I understand the law. I know how to read the law and how to interpret it. She needs to stop making these videos. I'm serious. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, because I need for people to see that all the mistakes and all the misleading information she's giving. I don't want people to start getting in trouble with the law or doing things that are below board. Until next time.